You are listening to motivational quotes and inspirational life stories from real-life people just like you. I'm your host, Victoria Johnson. You can learn more about me and my #1 best-selling book at victoriajohnson.org. It's time to share our experiences and motivate and inspire you. So let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of this amazing podcast. I am so happy to share with you yet another like-minded person who is just absolutely committed to bringing light and love and brilliance to the world and helping people live to their full potential. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Tom. And if you want to look up Tom's website while he and I are talking, the website is scalarlight.com. I'm going to spell that for you. SCALARLIGHT.com. I'll put it in the show notes as well, so you can go ahead and refer to it there. But let me just say welcome, Tom.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invite, Victoria.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you. And you and I have never spoken before, so let me just start with, where are you from?
I live in Florida.
In Florida.
Yes.
Okay, great. And so you have this, I just want to share what I do know about you, and that you have this burning desire to make a difference in the world by providing people with the education and tools that help them restore optimal health. Wow, is that ever perfect for the times we live in?
Yes, it's topical. Yes.
Yes. Can you tell us more about that?
Even as a youngster, I thought we needed a new way of wellness, a new model for health. And I've devoted my career to that. So I'm working with Scalar Light, and that is the model. That is the new paradigm, if you will, for wellness. I don't have anything per se against Western medicine. We're doing our best. But there always has to be something new. And I'm trying to think outside the box. And I've arrived at something that once the world will understand this and embrace this is a new model for wellness. And that's what we're going to present.
So a new model for wellness. And for those out there like me who are not familiar with the term scalar light, can you tell us more about that?
Scalar light, that's synonymous for starlight. What am I saying? I'm working with the energy, the light of the stars. So scalar light is a divine light as far as I'm concerned. It's the identical light that's produced by the stars of our universe. And I have developed instruments that capture this starlight. So essentially, I have miniature instruments in my laboratory. And when I'm working with this starlight, this scalar light, it's quite different from that of electricity. I can perform incredible things with this starlight, with scalar light.
Okay, so can you give us an example of what an incredible thing would be?
Yes. Working with scalar energy, I've discovered, Victoria, that I can control molecular structure of germs, of viruses, bacteria, and fungi. So my scalar energy instruments allow me to break down the molecular code, break down the molecular bonds of germs, viruses, bacteria, and fungi. And I can do that quite handily. And what am I getting at? A scalar light instrument can eradicate viruses, bacteria, and fungi from the human body. What does that mean? It means I've discovered the cure for pathogenic disease, and I could do it painlessly with a light instrument.
This is amazing, and I'm loving that you are using the energy light, the light from the stars, divine light. You mentioned that you were interested in this as a youngster. So to go from being a youngster who is interested to being an adult now who has a laboratory and who has done this research, can you tell us a little bit about that journey?
That's the entire key. It is a journey, and you have to make it a lifelong pursuit. What started as a curiosity in my adolescence, now at the age of 60, is a full-blown healing ministry. And the course of the trajectory that I've witnessed is a lifelong trajectory. And I'm happy that I pursued that course, but I had to take up this path of independent study. I can't accentuate that enough. What I'm doing is new, it's different, it's groundbreaking. I believe I'm one of the few at the vanguard of this science. So scalar science is not electrical science. This is a different type of energy than electricity. And I had to understand this from an early age as an adolescent to pursue that course of action. So it was Nikola Tesla and a few other researchers that I admire who had discovered this scalar energy, scalar light. And I decided that I would follow in their footsteps. And lo and behold, here I am now. And yes, I can vouch that there is a new and emerging science. There is a new textbook that's about to be written, and it is a scalar energy textbook. And I am sadly, one of the few pioneers today that is promulgating this new science, scalar energy. But it's quite promising. So that is my life story in a nutshell.
Did you have an event or something in your life that really ignited that passion?
I can't say just one specific event. That's a great question. I can't say one specific circumstance, but when I was studying these masters, people like Tesla and another inventor, Hieronymus, Tesla and Hieronymus, I knew these men were geniuses. And what they had achieved, it was so esoteric, yet so accurate and so sublime. And I knew I had to pursue this course of action and this course of study to follow up on them in order to, once again, forward this science, to pursue this and to, if you will, follow up where they left off. So I give a lot of credit to my predecessors. Without them, I could not have accomplished this. To me, in many ways, this is a passing of oral tradition. I've said that so many times, and I know that might smack people in academia as being a curt remark or inaccurate, but it is not. On account of the fact that there really is not much of a body of evidence as to what we're doing right now with scalar energy, it's passed on from one generation to another. And just a few scientists are passing this on. It's almost by way of oral tradition. But someday it will blossom into a full-fledged science and it will be embraced and it will change the world.
Wow. I'm excited. I love that you're at the forefront of this movement. And when you talk about it being different than electricity, I think back to what would have, in my mind, I can imagine what would have been the excitement around the invention, the creation, the discovery of electricity. And for you now to be in that same space, but with this divine energy, must be incredibly exciting.
It is. And that's apropos. It is divine energy. I look at electrical engineering and how electrical engineering has advanced society. What am I saying? We're actually working with the quintessence of the universe, which is scalar energy. And it really is divine light. It really is divine energy, far exceeding the capability of electricity. So if you consider the advancement that we've seen in society because of the electrical age, you're going to see a quantum leap. I guess the pun is intended. Quantum leap with scalar energy. It's a technology like none other. It's going to set us apart. It will really serve to forward the human lifestyle in many ways.
So as you've done your research, who have you found is your most likely client, your most likely person to embrace the research that you're doing?
That's a good question. It's really a cross-section. It's hard to say. Not to be sexist, I would say 70% of the people that are really interested in this health modality are women, 70%. Mm-hmm. Again, that's not meant to be that's accurate. That's not a sexist comment.
Absolutely.
That is accurate. And maybe that just speaks to the point that women are a little bit more solicitous about their health. So usually if I had to put my finger on it, it would be women over the age of, say, 30, 35.
All right. Are there any stories that you would be able to share, respecting confidentiality, of course, of the impact that this discovery, this scalar light, has made on people's lives?
Yeah, we have Christian missionaries throughout Africa and Asia. And these missionaries go town to town taking photographs of people. And this is how we work with people remotely by way of a photograph. You do not have an in-person session. Scalar energy instruments work with your photograph, with your energetic code on your photograph. Now, thus far, we've treated millions of people around the world, and working throughout Africa and Asia, there are entire villages that have been cured of malaria and dengue fever and hepatitis and tuberculosis, etc. So it's very promising. It's very rewarding. The ability to treat millions of people every year by way of their photograph and see that their disease, their pathogenic illness is being cured. Very, very promising.
Amazing. So you've moved out of the research phase then, and you are into fully applying this in real life situations when you say that millions of people have benefited from it.
That's correct. That's correct. I opened up the public website 9 years ago, and it's been well received. And I never thought I would get to the point that I would really promulgate this on a public website, but I think that's the only way to get the word out. And it has been promising. It has been well received thus far.
Oh, wonderful. So how do the listeners find out more, or perhaps send in their photograph or have a session? How does that work?
We have free sessions. If you visit the website, scalarlight.com, anybody in the world can email us your photograph. All we need is a photograph of your face. And we will work with you for 15 days. It's a free 15-day trial. And that free 15-day trial will include a chakra balancing, a pathogenic cleanse, and we also round it off with what we call a nutrient program. So scalar energy will balance your chakras, will eradicate pathogens from your body, and we also have the ability with scalar to assemble vitamins and minerals in your body. That is our 15-day free session. I would tell people to avail themselves of that 15-day free session. And if you like it, then share it with others. We want to get this information out to as many people as possible. So that's why we offer the 15-day free trial.
So you work with a team then, Tom?
Yes. Yeah. We have a team of about 20 people now.
Wonderful. Well, I don't know how much you disclose about what it is that you do, but I'm interested in behind the scenes and how, because you talk about these tools and I'm having trouble envisioning what they might be. You know, I have things around my office that are meaningful and special to me, and I consider them to be a tool. However, it's only my own intuitive feeling. There's no science backing that up that I'm aware of. So if you are willing to give us a little glimpse into the behind the scenes, so what would happen, say, for example, if I sent you a picture, what would be the next step?
We always receive photographs on a daily basis. So I actually print those photographs out. And with that printed photograph on a piece of paper, I simply place that photograph inside my instrument. Now, once your photograph is inside a scalar energy environment, it's entirely different than an electromagnetic environment. So you are being accessed in a different dimension, in a different paradigm. You're no longer in an electromagnetic paradigm. You're in a scalar energy paradigm. And with that, I can access you energetically anywhere in the world. So my instrument acts like a satellite, like a global satellite. And the way I connect with you is by way of your photograph. You know, again, this is a new and emerging science. This is not electricity. Electricity does not behave that way. So to run through the process, people would upload their photograph for the 15-day free trial. Just email us a photograph. I will print those photographs and then insert those photographs in a scalar energy instrument. And over the course of 15 days, I balance the chakras, I cleanse you, I eradicate germs from your body, and I assemble nutrients, micronutrients in your body. So at the end of 15 days, you're going to feel better. We're working with you around the clock, 24 hours a day with your photograph. And accessing your energetic force field, we're able to perform those functions. And your health will improve. Regardless of your age or disposition, you're going to see some type of improvement in your health.
That's fascinating. You know, to me, I think about energy healing. For example, there's St. John or John of Brazil.
Yes, yeah. St. John of God, yes.
Yes, okay. So I had that wrong. Or I think of, for example, Reiki healers, or quite, pretty much any faith within the world uses prayer. And so, one could be praying for someone in another country. However, you have taken that concept, if I understand this correctly, and basically made it high tech and added in this scalar light piece to really, dare I say, speed up the process?
Yes, I would say my scalar light instrument is analogous to prayer. What a person can do by way of prayer, I perform that function, which is quite similar with a scalar energy instrument. Remember, I mentioned that scalar energy is divine energy. It's divine light. What is prayer? It's a divine invocation. So some people will pronounce a prayer, a divine prayer. I pronounce divine energy. The two are similar, and maybe some will say it's a synonymous concept, and I'll give to that, sure. So some people might say that is quite similar, maybe not identical, but there is some synonymous congruity. Nonetheless, that is my approach with this divine energy. It can only be achieved with scalar energy, which is not electricity.
Can you tell us about an instance in your personal life, in your own life, where using these methods has made a difference?
When I first started experimenting with instruments in 1993 and 1994, I immediately saw that my sinuses cleared up and that I had a sore throat, and it dissipated within a matter of minutes, and that I felt better with this pathogenic cleanse. This is back in 1993 and 1994. So I knew I was onto something. And over the years, I perfected the technique. And I would say that for me, that was a watershed event back in 1993 and 1994 when I realized how easy it was to eradicate germs from the human body.
So what about when it comes to disease in the body, whether it be acid reflux or cancer?
I can't say I've had any success with cancer. Cancer is something I don't understand. Do I think I'll be able to invent a scalar energy machine that would either attenuate or cure cancer? I think that's possible, but I just don't have that knowledge presently, no.
So where I think I need to focus then on what you're saying is how it, works with the pathogens. You help with the vitamins and the minerals, the balancing the chakras. So people ultimately are feeling better. And we know those people, whether they have cancer or acid reflux or no illness at all, when you feel better, you do better.
Yes.
So recovery would be more likely, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. And the reason I've developed this program, it's a dependable program and it's repeatable. I call this my standard approach, my standardized approach, the ability to balance chakras, eliminate germs, and assemble nutrients. That is what I have proven works. I could say across the board, regardless of your age, genetic predisposition, regardless of your background, your nationality, etc., it works. And hence, I call that my standardized session because it works on everybody. So with that in mind, I'm happy to say that I've developed a standardized session that can work for every man, woman, and child on the planet. Some days, this will prove to be global health care by way of this standardized process.
Oh, I love that vision and, just so much good in the world coming from that. I wanted to ask you, as you have lived this very inspired life, who is it that you would maybe name as, say, your favorite author or your favorite quote or the person who inspires you the most to keep moving forward?
In this world, it would be Nikola Tesla and my predecessor, Galen Hieronymus, two great scientists, one of the few scalar energy researchers who really knew what they were doing. So in this world, I would say Tesla and Hieronymus. And in heaven, I would say Jesus and Mary.
Wonderful. All about the healing and the love and the light for Jesus and Mary as well.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So what is driving you going forward now? What is on the horizon for you?
To help people and to get this out there to the masses. If you look at the world situation, we've been through a pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. The world needs help. And we have to start thinking outside the box. We have to try different approaches. So I envision that someday scalar energy as a global means of healing will be embraced. And this is a solution. All of my family members and friends have fared very well during this pandemic. None of us are sick with the COVID-19 virus. So I'll go on record by saying scalar can also eradicate COVID-19. Now, what does that mean to the world? Well, hopefully someday if we embrace this technology, we're going to see how people around the world will benefit from this.
Yes. And I think that as a society, we are moving to a more holistic means and a more self-directed means of healthcare.
You're right. I see a bright future, and it's just a matter of time before people can accept this new progressive approach to wellness.
Yes. Well, and so it is. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the show and explaining this to us, Tom. I personally had visited your website and was having trouble understanding it, but you explain it so well that it makes sense to me now. So to the listeners, that is scalarlight.com, SCALAR light.com. And Tom has his contact information on there as well. So you can reach him directly through the website, keeps it nice and clean and easy for you. And wow, what an adventure. That's fantastic.
Thank you. It has been an adventure, and it's frankly time well spent. I'm happy with my scientific approach.
Yes, absolutely. Have you always had a passion for science?
Yes. I just love it. I eat it up.
It's so beautiful how we all have our different passions and what lights our fire and what brings us as a global community just so much closer to really fulfilling what it is that we're here to do. So thank you for answering that call. Thank you for sharing with us your wisdom. And I'm excited to get some feedback from the listeners once they have checked out your website and had an experience with you. So thanks again for being on the show, Tom.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. It is my true desire that you have been inspired and felt a sense of connection with the words being shared. If you have an inspirational story to share on how you have overcome adversity and created an exceptional life, please visit my website, victoriajohnson.org. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.